So today I want to show you a machine. You can't see all of it as yet, and right now is just one part that is moving on its own. But hopefully by the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly what I mean by this machine. A few weeks ago, anti-immigrant groups that were marching in South Africa gave foreigners, especially African foreigners, a deadline, 30 June. And that is just, I think, 2 days from now. The message was very clear. Close your shops. Get out of our clinics. Get out of our schools and leave the country. Go back to your country. This was not the South African government that was passing this order. It was the citizens. And they are tired. And I have actually deliberately avoided making any videos about South Africa because I feel like a lot of people have done justice to this topic. Let me make myself clear right now. I'm not just making this video because I'm a Zimbabwean, and I'm not making this video because I'm an African or because we're neighbors. I'm making this video because I'm someone that likes to understand how systems work, and I'm someone that loves to recognize patterns and possibly come to a conclusion by connecting the dots. And this is exactly what I'm going to do in this video. There has been hundreds, and I think thousands, or even hundreds of thousands, or even tens of thousands of videos that have been made about anti-immigrant protest in South Africa. But this video is much more intended to show why this is happening. What is driving these anti-immigrant protests? In this YAP session, we're going to be talking about the scapegoat machine in South Africa. My name is Adlene and welcome back to my channel. If you're interested in the topics that we talk about, please click the subscribe button and the bell so that you can be alerted every single time I will upload a video. I'm sure by now you're tired of YouTubers asking you to subscribe and you're wondering, why are YouTubers always asking you to click the subscribe button? Well, when you subscribe, you're actually telling the algorithm that you like this content, so it kind of helps the videos of that particular channel. It will be broadcasted more to people maybe that share common interests with you. The good thing is you don't have to pay for it, but you can help support a creator that you like. So if you're at liberty, please do not hesitate to support your favorite creator by clicking the subscribe button. It is free. Here's the most important part of this whole machine. South Africans are tired and they actually want to concentrate the pain to the actual cause, a state that has failed to deliver for the last 30 years. It is a brutal thing and one of the most difficult things to accept that a liberation struggle that was supposed to come through for you has failed you. It's demoralizing, it's unbearable for you to actually confront the idea that the liberation struggle did not work for you. Because when you look at your life, you see that your life did not actually get any better. The lives of your family members never actually got any better. Income inequality, wealth inequality, unemployment is still so high and seemingly is affecting the people who look like you, the people who were supposed to benefit the most from independence. And although you can acknowledge that the problem is not actually individuals, it is a system. You can't really march against a system. You have to put the blame on someone else. Although you can acknowledge the system, you can't touch it. It is not exactly visible because it's made up of a lot of components. So you have to redirect it to something that is actually visible, something that is actually close to you, something that you can target, something that you encounter every day at the clinic, someone that lives in your street. It is easier to deal with individuals, the people in your community. Because of this, you can easily redirect this to individuals. Because of this, you can easily redirect your frustrations to actual human beings, because you meet these people when you go to the clinic, you meet them when you go to the spaza shop, you meet them in the street, some of them even live in your community. What it does is that it converts a structural problem that is hopeless and faceless into a personal enemy that you can actually deal with, that you can actually solve on a Saturday afternoon. You can't change a system because obviously you don't have any power. I mean, you're among the least powerful groups in the entire country because you don't really have a lot of wealth. So you can't really do anything about the system. You can't really do anything about the actual problem. But what you can do is redirect your frustration to things that you can actually deal with. And these are the people in your communities, the foreigners. You may be powerless when it comes to actually enacting changes in your country, but being handed a target helps you feel some sort of important. It is the feeling of being able to do something about what you're going through. It is not the actual foreigner that is the target, but it is the feeling. The feeling of having power to do something about your immediate environment. You actually feel like, you know what, if we do this the right way, we can change our outcome here. So for the machine to aim, it has to have a good target. There has to be a reasonable argument as to why this is a good target. The target has to be visible. The target has to be easy to spot. And the reason to aim has to be plausible. There has to be a plausible reason why this is a good target. So there has to be some sort of pain that is associated with this target for a very good reason. Particularly in South Africa, these people are the foreign nationals, and not just the foreign nationals, the African foreign nationals. So according to the South African government, the number of documented and undocumented migrants in South Africa are less than 4%. They're estimated to be around 2 million. 2 million people in a country of 60 million people. South Africa is a very big country, and only 2 million out of the 60 million people living in South Africa are documented and undocumented immigrants. Are the concerns and the motivations of South Africans wrong? No, they're not. But if you're paying attention, 4% of your entire population cannot be the cause of whatever is happening in your country. The math is not mathing. 2 million people in your country cannot be contributing to the state of the economy in South Africa, cannot be contributing to the unemployment in South Africa. So even if each and every immigrant in South Africa vanishes, let's just say all of them, they wake up gone. South Africa's job crisis is never even going to twitch. There's never going to be a difference. But you see, the machine itself does not really care who is responsible. It just aims at who is catchable. They can't catch the government, they can't catch the politician, but they can catch the foreign national because he is vulnerable. These are people that have no vote in South Africa. They have no lobby in South Africa. They literally have no protection in South Africa. These are the most catchable group right now in South Africa. And this is exactly why they are a target of the machine. Whenever you see a society blaming the smallest and the weakest group for its biggest problems, you are not actually looking at the analysis of the problem. You are looking at scapegoating. It means that that society has already chosen a target and is reverse engineering the reason. So my argument in this video is that South Africans are not wrong to feel a particular way against foreigners. Because to be honest with you, they are experiencing one of the highest unemployment rates that they have ever experienced in their country. And to them, it feels like it's a solution if they get rid of the illegal immigrants. I'm not sure because some of them claim that they don't even want the legal ones anyway. So I'm not really sure on the stance of each of these groups, but my point is that some of their concerns are legitimate and they are actually coming from a good place, but the frustration and the anger is misdirected. There is absolutely no way to deal with the immigrant issue in South Africa. Even if they leave today, they're going to come back in a few months or in a few weeks because they depend on those jobs to eat. Immigration is one of the hardest problems to fix because your economy does depend to some extent on migrant labor. Focusing on just 4% of your population and not taking the time to understand the system, what is causing the problems that we have? What are the systems that are enforcing income inequality and wealth inequality in this country? What can be done about it? What are the risks of us doing this? And what are the benefits of us doing this? This is what is required. A much more intellectual movement is required in South Africa to fix the problems in South Africa. Because to be honest, majority of these illegal immigrants are actually doing lower paying jobs, which means that even if they leave the country, you will still be experiencing income inequality and wealth inequality in your country as Black South Africans. The grievances themselves are not wrong, they're correct. But unfortunately, the machine that is pushing for these protests is scapegoating. It will not solve South African problems. And yes, the law stipulates that an illegal immigrant should be deported. And I think the South African government has been doing this for the past 10, 20 years. They have been steadily deporting people that they catch who do not have any documentation or any paperwork to stay or to work in South Africa. I think that much more effort should be put into enhancing that system that allows them to deport more people instead of just chasing each and every immigrant from your country. Unfortunately, these protests also cause some sort of political instability in your country, and that also affects the markets and also affects the economy of South Africa. So, my argument in this video is actually saying that South Africa is a very beautiful country. I've been to South Africa only once, and I have had conversations with South Africans, very wonderful people, some of the most outspoken people that I've ever met. I love their vibe. But I feel like majority of South Africans might be very uninformed or underinformed about the historical implication of what they are actually doing. These things have happened in countries before and they have not turned good for the economy at all. Feeling good in the moment and feeling achieved in the moment does not solve a country's problem. Unless the system changes, it doesn't matter who you blame, it doesn't matter who you expel from your country, you are still going to suffer. You're still going to be unemployed, you're still going to be undereducated, you're still going to be living in the poorest parts of your country. You are still going to be living in a country that has one of the highest inequalities in the entire world. Because unfortunately, expelling people from your country will not solve any of the problems that you're facing right now. And yes, I actually agree with you. Grievances are solid. There's nothing wrong with your grievances. There's nothing wrong with feeling like people are breaking the law in your country. There's nothing wrong with feeling a particular way about people flooding your country. But the truth is, they're not really flooding it if they're just 4% of your population. You're being lied to. The reason why you feel like you're encountering a lot of them is because you live in the cities, and majority of these people leave their countries to come and work in the cities. The truth is, if you expel all the immigrants, who's going to pick your fruit? Do you understand that when you expel immigrants, what you're doing is you are not fighting for the right jobs. You are actually fighting for the fruit picking jobs, factory jobs that have no hours, garden boy jobs. You're fighting for the housemaid jobs because these are the jobs that immigrants do in your country. But you're not thinking in the long run. Who really has power in our economy? Who really is to blame for what we're going through and what can be done? The machine is already forcing you to scapegoat foreigners. Even if all of them leave today, it's not going to change the South African situation because they are just but a tiny percentage of your entire population. Does not mean that nothing should be done about the levels of immigration. Sure, something should be done legally, of course, according to international law. But at the end of the day, when you pay attention to things that don't actually change your life, you end up ignoring things that can actually change your life. So it's a misdirection of anger, a misdirection of frustration, a misdirection of effort. More effort should be put at holding people in power accountable, not the foreigners. My name is Adine, and thank you so much for watching my video. See you in the next one.